Hey guys, what's happening? It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back, and glad to be here tonight. Hope you guys are doing all right. Um, we got a good show tonight, and we're gonna do what we do. First of all, just want to thank everybody for joining us. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. We also ask that you would, Lord, uh, please, 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 when you're coming in, while you're here, like the video. Yeah, we got a lot going on tonight, and we don't want to delay the time. Want to say what's up to the chat, all of you guys that are joining us tonight. Glad to be here. So we're gonna get into some foolishness tonight, in a good way, I promise you. But we don't want to delay the time. We do have a guest joining us later on as well, and we're going to be talking about John Ridley's Black Panther run. Black Panther Volume 8. Might ask yourself why I want to talk about this. We'll get to that, but stay tuned for that. That's going to be our Down the Rabbit Hole segment. And before we get there, we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of news. We're going to do a segment we call Low Hanging Fruit. That's a segment of the show where we like to talk about the news and different tidbits and whatnot. And so the first news we have tonight is a CBR article. Yes, I have no clue. Marvel star was shocked by the surprise cameo, X-Men Cameo. Okay. The Marvel's Tiana Parrish reveals how Marvel kept secret, even from her, that she was filming a scene with a beloved X-Men character. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Parrish, who plays Monica Rambeau in the MCU, explained that she had no idea that the doctor in the lab coat she said the scene with was the stand-in for Beast, who was added during post-production. I also went wild, the actor said, seeing the finished post-credit scene with the X-Men character. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not who I filmed with. And I had no clue until it aired. When we filmed it, it was an actor who was very kind, very nice, and he was dressed in a lab coat. He looked like a normal, regular doctor. No one said, by the way, this is going to be a surprise. I had zero clue. I found out with everybody else. Yeah. So, Marvel does not trust nobody. And so when these people are filming these scenes or whatever, they have sometimes no clue what they're going to do. And basically what she's saying is the post-credit scene at the end of Marvel's movie, where she is in this new place, right? She didn't know that she was filming with Kelsey Paris, who's the guy who played Beast in the X-Men movies. So that was a nice surprise for her. But, man, that's they already have NDA agreements or whatever, but they also not even letting you know what they're really doing. They're filming something and it's like, okay, you're good. Okay. And she went on by her business. And then when she saw the post-credit scene like everybody else, then she was shocked. So that's a little crazy when you think about it. So the MCU fans were excited as Paris to witness the return of Kelsey Grammer as Hank McCoy Beast, who first appeared in 2006 X-Men The Last Stand. The Marvel's post-credit scene featured Paris Monica waking up in a lab on an alternative Earth within the multiverse where apparently the X-Men are already an established quantity. She meets Beast in an alternate superpower version of her Earth 616 mother, Maria Rambeau, still played by Lashana Lynch, who we all know plays is binary. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy when you think about it, man. You just don't know who in the world you who you're working with, what Marvel is doing. I just hope that Monica Rambeau comes back to the movie screen pretty soon. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get into another article. All right. This is a Star Wars article. All right. Now, check this out. Star Wars Empire magazine celebrates 25 years of prequels with a new issue and Samuel L. Jackson photos. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, turns 25 this year. Man, I'm old. And Empire magazine has been celebrating with some cool photo shoots featuring the cast of the prequels. They recently showcased Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith. Today, Empire shared a set of photos from 2018 of Samuel L. Jackson, who played Mace Windu in the trilogy. Jackson famously wielded a purple lightsaber in the films and reunited with the weapon for a photo shoot. And while Mace Windu technically died in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, his body was never shown. And Jackson believes that the character is still alive. In fact, the actor has said many times he wants to play the character again, especially after Ewan McGregor returned to play the titular character in Disney Plus's Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's not dead, Samuel L. Jackson insisted to the Empire magazine when asked what his take is on the character's current status in the Star Wars canon. Back in 2022, Jackson was asked by Happy, Sad, and Confused Josh Horowitz if he should hold out hope for a Windu return. Definitely, Jackson replied. There's a huge history of people with one hand returning to Star Wars. No doubt. And the only person that ever said that to coming back was Bryce Dallas Howard, just because I did a movie with her. And she redirects episodes of The Mandalorian. So you think you might be able to hook a brother up? I mean, you like me, right? She's like, I love you. You're amazing. So put me back in there. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. You know, I learned the lightsaber left-handed. Come on, hook me up. Samuel L. Jackson crazy. So yeah, so there's some pretty cool photos in the Empire Magazine 25th edition of Star Wars. Y'all go check that out. The Empire Magazine Star Wars Prequels 25th anniversary is on sale right now. That said, we're going to go ahead and go to our last article. Like I say, it's a short segment, y'all. Yes, Suits in The Wire cast iconic Superman role as James Gunn's DCU. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in race swapping news, we have our Perry White for Superman, for the Superman movies. Wendell Pierce has been cast as Perry White as James Gunn's new Superman film. Stop the Presses, James Gunn's new Superman movie has found its Daily Planet editor-in-chief Perry White and Wendell Pierce, best known for his roles in USA Network Suits and the HBO's Wire, according to THR. Perry White has been Clark Kent's boss since Valentine's Day 1940, when the character made his first appearance in The Adventures of Superman radio serial, which introduced the character to Jimmy Olsen in the upcoming film. As the erasable but fair editor of the Daily Planet, the newspaper where Clark Kent Superman worked, White has become a fixture in the Superman comics in the decades since, known for his catchphrase, "Great Caesar's Ghost." White was portrayed by Jackie Cooper in the original 1977 Superman film and sequels with Frank Langella, taking over in 2006 in Superman Returns. Most recently, White was portrayed by Lawrence Fishburne in Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So yeah, we got a Perry White hiring. So I'm pretty sure he'll have his cigar, and he'll look like Bunk Moreland from The Wire more than anything. So I'm looking forward to that. James Gunn is he's handling up. He's standing on business. So can't wait for the new stuff to come out. Shout out to DC and all the stuff they got going on. That's why. Not gonna lie, it's perfect. Yep. Shout out to y'all. So anyway, guys, that concludes our low-hanging fruit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to get into the nonsense tonight. the nonsense that is John Ridley and the Black Panther run that everybody believes was a disaster. We're going to get into it, y'all. And also, I will have a guest joining me, so stay tuned. Till then, relax yourself, get yourself comfortable or whatever. We got to go on a ride. Strap yourself in, you guys. It's going to be dope, I promise you. Be right back.
Here's our black real estate in comics. What do I mean? Let's check out Black Panther. He is gone from the MCU for reasons. And what is happening in the comics? We can complain all day about how our champion is being treated, but we don't own that character. Look at Milestone character, created by one of the greats, Dwayne McDuffie, my guy. But we don't really own or control any of his characters. DC does. So I'll ask again, where is our black real estate in comics? Meet Delta Dogs from Millennial Comics, created and controlled by us, where story sits in the forefront. Delta Dogs is more than just black characters being black for the sake of being black. This story is about 7 cousins that gets into an encounter with a mysterious glowing stranger that changes their lives forever. And with their unique abilities, this family may be the one thing that can save their hood that's being ruled over by a vicious super gang with an ex-criminal as their leader and other superheroes that looks the other way when it comes to their environment. This will be an impossible mission to pull off. Grab these books in our hardcover Ultimate Edition bundle at millennialcomic.com so we can really have some skin in the game when it comes to the comic book industry. Keep doing y'all thing, Black Comic Lords. Peace.
What's up, comic fam? It's your boy Paul with an exclusive look at a dope new section of our BlackComicLords.net website. Head to the site, click on Black Indie Comics for your selection of the dopest black comics around. And if you're a black comic creator and you want to be added to the site, send us your link with a copy of your logo so we can add it in there. But be patient. We're getting there. We're getting there. Much respect to all of you.
All right. Welcome back. So, yes, on tonight, we want to go ahead and have a conversation about a particular polarizing comic book run in our space. Paul says, how was I not invited to this discussion? We already know what you're going to say. That's why you're not invited. We already know. So just chill, relax. Let me do this. I tell you, people. Anyway, look, guys, we're going to get into this. We're going to do a little deep dive tonight. We're going to kind of ruffle some feathers, and we also going to kind of get some side eyes. But you know, I'm standing on business tonight, so y'all can take it how you feel, as far as I'm concerned. But I wanted to bring in my man Otis with this discussion because we had a discussion about this particular run, and I thought it would be dope to bring him on to talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, the King of Wakanda is here. Otis Black Arterberry, what happening, bro? How you doing, man?
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody? Hi, Rich. What's going on? What's going on, Derek?
All right.
What's going on?
What up? He says time for healing. So look, now, you know, some stuff just falls in your lap, and so we had a discussion behind the scenes about Black Panther fandom, and then I was talking about the Black Panther fandom, talking about this run, you know what I'm saying, and how people feel about it or whatever. And there's some things about this run that initially on the surface looks pretty bad. But if you peel the layers back, you might be able to get some context. You might be able to get some context out of this. So as we begin to have this discussion, I want to just ask, Otis, I just want to ask for your thoughts in regards to, we first discussed it, and you know what you told me. You said, I got to go dig and look at some stuff.
Yes, I did.
What's your initial thoughts about our conversation about this, bro?
Yeah. That's all I can really say is yeah. I have to give all respect, all acknowledgement, credit due when my man, Brother Richard, hit me with this information. I told him, I was holding my chest. I was like, whoa, I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then I started doing my research and I started like clicking on things, and I'm like, oh wow, I forgot about that conversation. Oh wow, I forgot about that happening. And I'm like, Brother Richard, I think you cracked the case on this one, man. I do. So yeah, it's heavy. We already know we're gonna get some pushback, and that's cool. That's cool. This is a controversial topic, and we know why certain people don't like certain stuff about this, and respect all that. But let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so before we get into it, we're talking about Black Panther Volume 8. It went 15 issues, and this run is very, very polarizing for a lot of reasons. I mean, a lot of people hate this run, and with good reason. There's some stuff in this book that's just not good. I will say that from the outset. However, I have learned that sometimes you have to go back and reread. Sometimes you have to look at things from a different perspective. I use this analogy when I talk to people about their life. You know, sometimes you can see life from the number 6. If I draw a number 6 on the ground and I ask you to stand in front of it, Otis, it looks like a 6 to you. But if I stand on the other side, it looks like a 9 to me.
Right.
So you have to kind of change positions to kind of see something different. And so in this particular things, you know what I'm saying, sometimes we could be, we lose our objectivity, or we lose our perspective when we look at things just through a certain lens. So to start this discussion, first of all, I want to shout out to Mark. I want to shout out Mark, ATL Blurred, Paul's partner, because he credits Ta-Nehisi Coates' run as the beginning of these shenanigans, right? And now Monty says, after reading the Esquire, I see it a whole lot different. I'm pretty sure you will. But I'm just going to ask you to as we lay out this conversation and as we lay out these thoughts, I just want you to take it for that. You know what I'm saying? If you allow things outside that to not necessarily cloud or smear or your perspective or whatever, then it's hard to be objective. It's kind of like when Lawrence Taylor was inducted into the Hall of Fame. People tried to keep him out of the Hall of Fame because of his outside activities. And it's like, no, he did he earned his spot on the field of play. So I'm just asking everybody that's here and those who will watch to just kind of take that perspective. Just look at the material. Don't look at the dude. Don't look at what's been said about him. I know that's out there. I'm fully aware. I'm just looking at, because again, I have no skin in the game. I'm going to just keep it 100. I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan, but I think I can be objective enough to have this discussion, especially with a hardcore Black Panther fan like my man Otis. So here's the deal.
Can I say something real quick? Because it piggybacks off of what you just said.
Yes, sir.
In this community, I rock with a lot of people, right?
Yes,
there's some that outside of this, I probably wouldn't even speak to you because of what you believe, your thought process about stuff, how you feel about certain stuff, because we don't think the same.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, those same people I have much respect for because of what they know and what they provide to this space in this community. And I can't knock what they're doing in here because of what they do out there. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't talk to a lot of y'all. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it, and I know y'all know me. You know me. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. And that's and that right there is the truth. So going back to what Brother Richard said, I know about the article and I know about other stuff too, just like everybody else does. But you also know how dope of a writer he really is and has been. Okay, so you can't just throw everything out the window because of personal feelings. Facts are facts.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean. That I'm going back to what Brother Richard said. Like I wouldn't speak to a lot of you because of how you think and how I think. We don't think the same. But I cannot disparage. I can't downplay your community help here. You know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you just one without one. Don't use one You know what I'm trying to say.
Wait,
You understand
yes,
what
sir.
I'm trying to say. Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So I'm
Yes, sir.
done.
Absolutely.
I'm done. So go ahead. I'm done.
All right. So my initial thought was to look at Black Panther volume number 25. However, I want to take a quote from Ta-Nehisi Coates' run in issue number 18. It's not, we don't have it, Derek. But this is, I just want y'all to just hear this quote that's in issue number 18. It says that, and this is T'Challa thinking this. This is in the box. It says, "I was a mythical hero, and what was a hero without his trials, without his labors?" So in regards to all of this that we're going to talk about tonight, I want you to bear that in mind. He says, "I was a mythical hero, and what was a hero without his trials and without his labors?" So as we talk about this tonight, I want you guys to bear that in mind, because trust and believe, the stuff that we got in that run with John Ridley was a lot of trials. So what started all of this? Let us go to Black Panther number 25, volume 7, number 25. There are some panels. That book right there, the last book in this run. And what sparked this discussion was one question that me and Otis will have, and I'll put it before y'all today. And that question was, after all this stuff that's going on, even the current run, we had one question. Where is Bast? In all of this stuff that's going on with T'Challa, where is she? Okay, we go back to issue number 25. There is a discussion at the end of the book. They're on planet Bast. And this is what he says. It says, keep it right there, Derek. It says, this is Bast speaking. The folding of time and space, the light of the star calls out to you, bright and beckoning, though the star itself is long dead. T'Challa, you of all people, a scientist, you must understand. He says, yes, Bast, I do. And this is what he says. He charges Bast up. He says, I understand that being a god means never taking responsibility. I understand that this empire was built upon everything I stood against. Storm weighs in and says, billions, untold billions subjected to slavery, and you did nothing. This is them charging her with these crimes. She says, didn't I? So in her response, after saying that, T'Challa says, you abandon us. Abandon your own people because you thought you found a better tribe of sycophants. In the Jadaka's entire reign, all the life wasted. You don't get credit for belatedly helping to clean up the mess you made. She says to him, the mess I made? Was it Bast who sent these Wakandans out into the stars? Was it Bast who hunted the 5 galaxies for your precious vibranium? It is the circle, the child who is the mother and the maker and the maid. You know what she says? She said, it is you, T'Challa. You who made this world, who authored this empire, and now you must live in it. He says, now your whole galaxy's written in your clutches. Futures are birthed at your slightest gesture. It is a burden, I know, but you birthed it, and now you will carry it. Then she turns and she gets ready to leave. Hear what she says on her way out the door. She says, curse your God if you wish. I've seen it in every age. But in this matter, curse your kings first. And with that, I excuse myself. I have some Orisha to get reacquainted with. Good luck to the festivities. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where all of this started. Right here. She says to him, curse your gods, but now first curse your kings. So this deal with T'Challa, I'm just going to say it. This is punishment. Now, he was off world for a while before he came back to Earth. Issue 1 starts, right, Otis, with him fighting alongside the Avengers. He's fighting an alien invasion. Okay, it's the Avengers. This is what they do. They don't know where these things come from. Doctor Strange creates a portal. They basically dump them into this portal hole. They shut it up. Cap and T'Challa have a discussion. Now that he's back home, they kind of chill or whatever. Cap is like, "You're gonna be back. You're back now. You're firmly back." He said, "Oh yeah, I'm back. I'm good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna probably be here more than I am gonna be in Wakanda."
Right.
That's what he said. So now let's have that discussion. Okay. So this book starts off with just, Black Panther being Black Panther. He's calling the shots. He's the chairman of the Avengers. They're doing their thing. These aliens or whatever, nobody know where they come from, but they just here. They dispose of them. And so now he's kind of getting back to quote unquote normal life. But this time that he has been gone, Wakanda decides to set up a different political structure. He's the emperor, right? And he is king only in title or only in symbol. They have kind of set up where the Wakandans want to govern themselves. So the whole thought of him being disposed as a king, that kind of was part of what happened when he was off world. Didn't nobody know where he was. If a king is not on, if no one knows where you are and you're supposed to be ruling, what is Wakanda supposed to do? And then you bring this war to our shores. You bring this war to prime Wakanda. You want everybody in the world. You want all the black superheroes to gather together and be part of Wakanda. Everybody's part of Wakanda, right? No, you don't believe me? Ask Jenna.
Right. Right.
So now this is how this thing begins. Okay. First scene outside of that, we see Jahai and Amalolo having dinner, lunch, or whatever. They hooking up, meeting up somewhere, right? They not even supposed to be together. Somebody comes in, fireworks start going off. He supposedly gets killed, right? Come to find out, he's a sleeper agent. She is too, right? Now, T'Challa, he's told up that his best friend. Now we hadn't seen this dude before this issue, right, Otis?
Ever.
Okay, so it's just they just put it in there that this is his best friend. He just died, okay?
Yeah.
But he was his best friend that he sent away. Some best friend. I'm gonna send you away, and I'm going to deny who you are, but I need you to chill until I call on you. That kind of thing. Cool. Okay, so does that. The jig is up, as they say. So T'Challa shows up, questions Amalolo, why are you here? All of this stuff, right? And so it comes out, you know what I'm saying, how many secret sleeper agents are there? There's like 10 all over the world. Mm-hmm. So he has to go and he has to try to get with them. In issue 3, he goes to see his Boo Storm. At least that's what it looks like. But no, he's there to talk to General. They have to play it off where General has to be aggressive toward him and hit him and knocked him. Really, he cold cocked him. So, but he's there to kind of warn General. Now he tells John, you ain't got to go nowhere. You can stay where you are. But it was like, okay, T'Challa, I'm doing this for you, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't look good, though. But Storm finds out, of course, later on that Gentle is a sleeper agent in Oracle.
Yeah.
So he is catching all kind of disrespect from everybody. But even, and you feel sorry for him in a lot of ways, but he's still a little shady. He's still being a little shady in this whole thing. So it's like, okay, T'Challa, the woman you love, you don't trust her. And of course, what does John Ridley do? He reminds everybody through their conversation, you didn't give us, we don't have access to Araco. You tore down the Wakandan gate. And he was like, well, yeah, because you came and stole Skybreaker. What was I to do? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And so, and of course, we know that that's from the infamous Marauders 13 story. So it's just not looking good. And by this time, it's like I said, it's issue 3. People are tired of it already. You think that that it would get a little bit better, but notice the shenanigans keep going. All right. Now, what people need to know too is that this first story arc is called The Long Shadow. And that story arc is 8 issues. The first 8 issues cover of John Ridley's run is one story. Okay. So by the time all of this kind of like plays out, he's going around trying to figure out who's doing this. Meanwhile, the Hatu Zarazi is working with the government to like, hey, if this goes like we think is going to go, we need to know that you guys are going to do what it's going to take to protect Wakanda, because they believe that T'Challa is coming back for the throne.
Yeah.
So that's more foolishness. Now, in and of itself, that's not a bad thing. Now, there were things that were being written in the run that people didn't like about how they approached T'Challa, how he was insulted, how he was, shaded that the whole time. And I get that. But I go back to what Bass said. She said, no, curse your kings first. She called it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So again, that's one point. Bing. I'll leave that right there. So next up, we get to, and here guys, we can't go through the whole run because we don't have that much time.
Right.
So we're gonna get there, L Dog. So the next story arc is 2 issues. He said, I understand the point you're making, trying to miss, but you're glossing over several bad writing choices that could have been done 10 times better. There's no rationalizing, apologizing those. I'm not here to rationalize or apologize for any of those things, Paul. That's not my purpose here. My purpose is to lay out why we got the run we got. This is not to question John Ridley's choice of words or how he wrote the book. I get it. I can be right there with you in terms of being critical of that. But I just think we missed a lot. That's all I'm getting at. We missed the point of it. Why it was written the way it was written. Okay? So going to this next story arc. It's called The Range Wars. It's issues 9 and 10. Okay? This is where we meet the colonist. And so I thought that was pretty crazy to introduce a white character, a ghostly looking character, or a ghostly looking crew of people. And the leader is called the colonist. We all know who colonizers are, right? Okay. And so it's an issue. It is almost bizarre and weird and trippy when you think about it. But he just became the emperor of an empire that colonized 5 galaxies. Okay? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5. And to Storm's point, billions enslaved. Y'all want to do some? Y'all want to talk some Black history tonight? Y'all really want to talk about all the? Y'all really think we over here just because of white folks? Y'all don't really want to. Y'all don't want to dig up the fact that those slave dungeons over in Ghana, that many of the people that held those people over there, they weren't white. They looked just like you and me. Christopher Priest, when he created the Dora Milaje, I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. His inspiration for the Dora Milaje were the Dahomey. Those were real warriors who participated in the slave trade. You need a book. You go read Barracoon by Zora Neale Hurston. She talks to a former slave named Cujo Lewis. He was the last slave in American history. And his family, and he was caught by the Dahomey. Y'all still love the Woman King though, right? That's what we doing, right? Black girl magic, right? But that's the history. Okay? That's the history. So it goes my point is that if you're playing in these straws, you're gonna find some interesting things in here. Wakanda Empire. Now the Wakandas on Earth is way different than the Wakanda that was in the stars. Completely different. But he took that role. Now Bass, to her point, Bass was playing both sides. And Bass, matter of fact, told in Jadaka, he's the promised one to come. He's the avatar to come. Yeah. And I know you love me, but yeah, he's gonna do away with you. That's par for the course. Okay, this is what the story is. Okay, so getting back to the colonist. The colonist is showing up and doing the most. I mean, matter of fact, John Ridley used the word bigly. So he really was trolling all you Donald Trump haters. He was trolling y'all with that character. So T'Challa's determined to take him down. And before he gets ready to take him down, he has this big old thing working with the Avengers to try to do his job. And the Buffalo Soldier shows up with a big pistol. I don't know what kind of bullets. I don't know what kind of bullets in that gun, Otis, but it was able to destroy the weapon that they had planned to use against the colonists.
Yeah.
Okay, so he shows up, and T'Challa is talking to Shuri. She's like, "Hey, I don't know who this dude is." And Shuri downloads him some information about the Buffalo Soldiers in America, or the Buffalo Soldiers in this part of the world. And shout out to Imani, because I remember we did a show with Imani, and Imani couldn't get over the fact that a Buffalo Soldier showed up on a buffalo.
Shout out to Big Phil for getting the original artwork. Shout out to Big Phil for getting the original artwork.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
So he shows up, right? And I mean, he is a country Southern black man. There he is. And he's talking to T'Challa, calls him Catman and all kind of crazy stuff. I thought it was pretty funny. So he's talking to him, and he's telling him, he said, "Hey, how you come to work for the colonists?" So he tells him, he said, "Look, my people fight with this group called the Mugabe. And we lived alongside with them, had no issues with them, but the colonists showed up one day and told us that the Mugabe would just surround us to get us. Divide and conquer." He told that story. And how many black folk, white supremacists or white supremacy uses every day on the radio, on YouTube, all over. All skin folk. You say whack. I mean, it is what it is, Imani. But that's what he did. So T'Challa tries to remind him, but the Buffalo Soldiers in my world, they fought for the land. But they turned around and wind up turning their guns on the very people of the land that they were supposed to defend. The Native Americans. They called them the Buffalo Soldiers. because of their hair. Shout out to Otis. He would probably be called a Buffalo Soldier because that's how they wore their hair. They wore their hair woolly. That's history, y'all. And can we talk about history for a moment? Black people fought on this side of the war. Black people fought on that side of the war. That's Black history. That's the story that Ridley is telling. Y'all don't like the story, but I get it. Mm-hmm. I do. I get it. I understand it. But he's really trying to tell y'all something in this run. So, I mean, let me just ask you, Otis. I want to get your thoughts. I mean, because when I did see the Buffalo Soldier, I got a good chuckle. I like the character though. And Imani's the one that made me laugh about him being the Buffalo Soldier showing up on a buffalo. So what are your thoughts about the Buffalo Soldier?
All right. I think he's a dope character. I really do. I think he's a dope I think he's a dope original, I guess, for Marvel character. When I first saw him, I thought it was cool because I was thinking of how shout out to Rico, brother Rico Jones, aka Devo. He said something about the waves that Marvel goes in when it comes to comics, and he was saying how horror comics are, kind of were on the rise, and what's next is going to be westerns. So he was talking about Reno Jones, you know what I'm saying, and then Willie Cordy. Shout out to Willie Cordy. They were going back and forth, throwing like all these black cowboys and people from back then, like real life Bass Reeves, stuff like that. So adding the Buffalo Soldier, I thought that it was cool because he will be like an original character and he would fit perfect in that genre if you're going for Western / comic books, because he could ride the buffalo. I think the giant buffalo is dope. I defended that during a live, and Amani was on it, and I was saying how you don't get more comic booky than that. It's a giant buffalo. He is named the Buffalo Soldier. He's a new black character. What is there not to like if you're a comic book fan? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he showed up holding watermelon and fried chicken, you know what I'm saying? Then you could probably get upset. If he had a grill attached to the side of the buffalo so he can barbecue whatever and gold in his mouth, then I can expect some pushback. But this is a comic book character in a comic book. Yeah. Of course he has a giant buffalo. Black Bolt has a giant dog. You know what I'm saying? He-Man wrote a giant cat that talked. Yep. Brave Star, 3030, his horse. Come on, it's comic books. Yep. And that was one of my biggest gripes during that live or during that time was these are comic books. They're supposed to be fantasy. They're not really supposed to make sense. Do you remember when there were when you got a comic and it was a self-contained story in that book? Like in that book, there could be aliens, there could be werewolves, there could be anything. You'd read it and be the end, and that's it. You read the comic. You didn't question any of those. Okay, so I love the Buffalo Soldier. I thought he was dope. I thought it was a dope original character. I liked the conversation between the two of them. And just like you said, there's more to this story than just what's on the pages. Right. I said a long time ago, and I have to bring this up, especially because we're talking about it and it's so close to it. The Intergalactic Empire Wakanda. I got the omnibus. I pre-ordered this. I paid the $125. I wasn't waiting for it to get discounted. Yeah. That story, so many people did not like it, right? Yeah. And you had every right to not like it. You didn't. There was certain things, even a little bit before that, when they were talking about like I remember they were discovering rape camps in Wakanda, and everybody was like in an uproar, and they were like, "How could you do that? That's Wakanda. You can't sully it with those type of things. Those type of things don't go on in the Golden City." No, They don't go on in the Golden City. But outside the Golden City, it's a whole different world. And that's reality. No one wanted to, because Wakanda's, I think you said it once before, you saying they romanticized Wakanda. Wakanda's supposed to be this perfect place. And I understand that. I get it. It's supposed to be not like what we have, or what it could. It's like it's a what if. It's a what if. That's what Wakanda is, a what if for us. You know what I'm saying? So when you start putting dark elements in there, then you get people who I'm saying people who say that they're Black Panther fans, but they can't take the good. They take the good, but they don't want the bad, and they don't want the ugly. They really don't want the ugly. They'll rock with the bad, but they really don't want the ugly. But that's what encompasses all of this. There were rape camps, and you thinking about that happening in Wakanda, it seems blasphemous, like it wouldn't happen. But I live in Buffalo, and they say that this area is like a hub for sex trafficking, and it's been like that for years. I'm a tattoo artist. I've been tattooing for 25 years. I've had all types of clients, and a few of mine were ladies that were trafficked here. So I hear the stories. So when you tell me, and this is happening right around me, and I don't see it. I don't see it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that Coates bought some reality, and it was raw and ugly, and people didn't like it because it was against what Wakanda is. Just like you talking about, like T'Challa's not the man I grew up with. He's not, this T'Challa is not the T'Challa that I know. Every man changes. Right. Every man goes through stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can show you a picture of me 10 years ago. Didn't look like this. Didn't think like this. Wasn't like this. You know what I'm saying? So I know I went over this way. Buffalo Soldier is dope. Buffalo Soldier, I thought was a dope character, and I felt like he had some legs. No pun intended.
No doubt. So look, we just were talking about the Buffalo. So I want to go back a little bit to the first story arc, and because I didn't cover Tosin, and Tosin is which was first appearance was Black Panther 200 or issue number 3, or the 200th issue of Black Panther. And there's a story in the back of that book where Tosin makes his first appearance. And when I look at Tosin, a lot of people don't like the character because, he's kind of arrogant or whatever. He flies in the face of what T'Challa's about, that kind of thing. And I think Tosin, to a certain degree, represents the new black, or the new thinking of Black people. I'm not rocking with them. There's a generational, right now that there is a generational war going on. People talk about gender war. There's a generational war. A lot of younger people don't like to listen to older people. Gen Xers and boomers are having a tough time connecting with millennials and Gen Z and Gen Alphas because they a lot of times don't listen to us. And I just see that in Tosin when it comes to T'Challa. It was interesting in that book, he talks about how T'Challa and Killmonger were just going at each other, whatever. And both of them think that they're right. And he says that, they both, could be right. Or worse, they could be both evil. And that's how he sees T'Challa and Killmonger. He doesn't make the distinction that Killmonger is or T'Challa is the lesser two evil. He calls them both. He calls them both evil. And so a lot of times, when we see young people or whatever, right, they have a fire about them. They have a personality about them. And there may be things that we may have issues with, but they're very opinionated and they don't really care what we think. They just don't care. And so I think he represents that too. So for us, some of us old heads or whatever, he might ruffle a few feathers. It says false millennials are now in our mid-30s. You older guys always lump us with teenagers. Hold on, inside the square circle. I made the distinction. I said Gen Zers and millennials. But Millennials, same issue. You guys don't get along with Gen X. So, you know what I'm saying? But my point is that these younger people, they see the world different than those of us that are Gen X. I mean, and it's cool. You know, we're going to have a difference of opinion, but I think Tosin kind of represents that. He represents this new Wakanda, because he didn't grow up in the Golden City. His tribe, they moved to the outskirts, and he says in that story that they lived with the land. They didn't live off the land; they lived with the land, and they were able to tattoo the liquefy the vibranium where they would wear it on their skin.
Yeah.
So, you know, that I think that's another thing too, that, you know, he said, if you think Killmonger equals T'Challa, you have failed superheroes. I don't, Jim. Mr. Thorne, I don't. I'm just putting it out there that this is how Tosin thinks. This is Tosin's thinking. It's not my thinking. This is Tosin's thinking. This is how Tosin sees the world. So again, and how we know that sometimes people have lack of wisdom, and that's the way Tosin thinks. And at some point, they come together, and he works alongside T'Challa, right? But initially, he had a problem with T'Challa. So, you know, but I think that's just the generation gap between the two of them or whatever. Now, Gordon says, I hear what you guys saying, but the execution of whatever Ridley was trying to do was off. Case in point, T'Challa not knowing the history of the Buffalo Soldiers when he faced off against him. I mean, look, I'm not here to, I mean, I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, T'Challa, if he was quote unquote T'Challa knows the history of the Buffalo Soldiers. You're right. You may be right in that assessment. I get it. But I'm not here to defend John Ridley. Guys, I am not here to defend John Ridley. What I'm here is to get you guys to see some things in that book, to get past some of your angst against a writer that you had issues with because he made your guy, T'Challa, look a little ridiculous. Otis just told you, these are comic books. These are comic books. And because these are comic books, to this whole episode needs disclaimer, and because these are comic books, there's a thing about, you know, again, and here's what I don't like, Otis. Y'all gonna make me go there. Superman fans always get to see Superman look ridiculous. Batman fans always have seen Bruce look crazy. T'Challa ain't never looked ridiculous. We get one run where it looks crazy. It feels crazy. And the world is off its axis. All I'm saying is that there's some things that he was trying to convey. There were some thoughts that he was trying to get out. His execution may have not been what you want it to be, but he was really trying to tell you a story. A story of what happens when a character, because here's the thing, I asked the question. My first question was, where is Bast? Y'all ain't seen Bast since. Somebody tell me when the last time y'all saw Bast. I'll wait. Oh, that's right, Otis. It was issue 15, the cover, where she carrying a broken T'Challa in her mouth.
Yes, she was.
I mean, that's it. She literally walked away and told him what was going to happen. Told him that this is the kingdom that you built. All this stuff. Y'all act like this stuff couldn't have happened. I'm just saying. You know, again, I mean, guys, we just offering some commentary on the run y'all hate. I hope y'all still love us, right, Otis?
I'm gonna be good either way. So I'm gonna be good either way. Because my earlier statement probably hit a few people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be good. I think I'll be good.
Yeah, no doubt. So going on. Okay, so the last story arc began with issue number 11. It's called All This, the World, and the World Too. So this is where, you know, T'Challa finds out that Jahai is alive. He then took over. He then took over the data in the country, all over the world. He didn't put the world at T'Challa's feet.
Yeah.
He said said, I did this for you, T'Challa. He was radicalized because you made him a sleeper agent, T'Challa. That don't happen to people. People don't get radicalized. We live in the most radical country in the world. I mean, again, he literally, and of course, I'm not saying that Jihad was right. He wasn't, but at the same time, it's like he did what the people at Wakanda were doing. And out in the space, you're the emperor now, T'Challa. I'm just trying to help you take the universe is at your feet. Not only do you have the galaxies, but you got the whole world. You got this world too. He laid it at his feet. Broke his heart, of course. And his whole time he had become a nihilist in a sense. He lost his throne, lost the woman of his love, but that was his own fault.
All of it. All of it.
And so again,
yeah.
I mean, what do you do? What do you do? And again, I know that this run was not the best run, but I do think that Ridley was trying to tell y'all something. And I'll be honest, he was really trying to hold a mirror up to a lot of people's faces. That the character of T'Challa, as noble as he might be, he's a flawed man, just like everybody else. He's got trust issues.
Yes.
He's paranoid.
Yep.
He can be broken just like anybody. So I see why you're not even bother inviting me to the show. Oh, no, Paul, I'm sorry. I didn't want a word salad about how good T'Challa is. I'm sorry. I'll get that, I'm sure, sometime this week when I talk to you. Love you, brother. Anyway, so Jihad is doing this. He'd have done all this dirt, right? And he's laid this stuff at T'Challa's feet. So T'Challa's heartbroken. You know what I'm saying? He trying to figure out who killed his best friend. His best friend is alive, only to set him up to he literally does something that really T'Challa himself probably would do. That's the other part.
Yeah.
Now, the Avengers, they get caught up in all of this as they get ready to try to find Jihad and all his shenanigans. Come to find out, T'Challa been spying on them. Okay, we already know that's that's T'Challa. We know that he's been the part of the Avengers to spy on them. But no, he's got contingency plans to handle all of them. All right, and then Cap, of course, he's had enough. And of course, everybody knows that panel where he's just, he's just wearing T'Challa out, and that fist that triggered half of Black America.
Yeah, I got thoughts on that panel. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I got some serious thoughts on that panel. I got some serious thoughts on that panel. Now, and I think I'm sure I said this during the live too, and reading that panel, like, those issues were, like you said, it was a breakdown. Like, all of this stuff was his fault, all of it. You know what I'm saying? And I particularly like this run because it showed, chickens coming home to roost. Like, actions equal consequences, repercussions.
Yes.
All that. And he, like you said, he lost everything. But going back, I'll go with the panel. When I read that panel, literally, just like everybody else, I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy to see. It was hard for me to look at it, right? Second time I looked at it, I was looking for something. I always try to look for the silver lining, or is there another meaning? Maybe there's some meanings, and it's kind of like, it's like any book. You read a book, I get one interpretation from it, you get another interpretation from it. We don't know which one is the real one, or both of them could be. All right. So now I'm looking at that. Cap is punching him in the face. All you see is a black man on his knees, just getting punched in the face, and all you see is red, white, and blue. And you know what I'm saying? Red, white, and blue. Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that like that's us. He had given up. He was done. He was done. He was like, you know what? My man, he was done. He was like, I'm here. This is what you're gonna give me. This is what you're gonna do. And that's, to me, that's America and us. That, when I look at that page, that's what I see. America and us. Now, the younger generation, as you speaking on before, might say something like, yeah, no, that's y'all. Y'all gonna sit there on your knees and let America punch you in the face. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do what our ancestors did. We're gonna fight back. And I understand all of that. All of that. But I tell my youngest son all the time, you can't lead with anger. No. You can't. It's effective. It's effective, but you can't lead with anger. We don't lead with anger. We lead with our minds. We play chess. We do 10 moves ahead. We don't just say, you know what, I'm just gonna punch this dude in the face, and then whatever happens, happens. Nah, you're not gonna punch this dude in the face. If you punch that guy in the face, you're gonna go to jail. You might lose your job. You might, felony. You know what I'm saying? Now that record is on you for the rest of your life. We think about stuff like this. Yeah. So,
I mean, look, it's one of those things where, Paul's brought up, why don't you showed up the conversation before, and of course the Avengers that showed up to handle J.I. Cap was done with T'Challa lying to him. That's the part everybody misses. I'm like, dude, you mean to tell me that you're the reason, or you're the source why all this foolishness is happening, and you couldn't tell us? I'm supposed to be your boy. I'm supposed to be your friend. So, and again, I know it looks crazy. They drew it. They drew that like that to trigger everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not in their character. But what you see is a man that you see Cap being just, tired. He's frustrated. He's like, you know what? Okay. You finna get these hands. And I, one thing about your brother or whatever, I don't care if your brother hurts you or if your brother transgress against you, you'll almost literally try to kill him. You'll give more deference to a stranger. So when I see this panel, I see somebody that, okay, these are two guys' friends. And like Herschel said a while ago, he was defeated inside. He was already broken.
It was. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point that's what bothered me so much about, like, not that people didn't like this wrong, because you were entitled to not like something, right? You were entitled to have your opinion about something. But when I'm giving you like my synopsis about what I see, what I'm telling you, I see your side of it. I understand why you see what you're seeing. Now I'm going to tell you what I see. But as I'm telling you what I see, you know what my daddy told me? My daddy always told me, if anybody says a statement and then says but and then puts another statement, everything before but is bullshit. That is what my father told me. And I've seen a whole lot of that in the chat. Okay, I've seen a whole lot of but in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna call it out. I see everything. My phone, my eyes are bad. Let me tell you, my eyes are bad from tattooing. I'm doing this from my phone, and I can hardly see it, but I see what's going on, and I see, hey, good points, fellas. But there's no but. These are our points.
Yeah, I think that too. I mean, look. I don't want nobody to think that we are endorsing any of this. I think that we want people to, if nothing else, we want people to just understand, give it some context, because I think that's what a lot of stuff happens. And Styles So Serious said this is so disrespectful. And yes, it was very disrespectful. It was drawn that way. It was drawn to be disrespectful. And so again, it's kind of like you don't want you. It's almost like, do y'all want Cap to hold his punches? Y'all want him to play, play licks, that kind of thing. They were kid gloves. That's what y'all want? No, they wanted you to experience and feel this panel. They literally put the stars and stripes in your face and had T'Challa looking crazy so you can just kind of understand.
Can I say something?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let me interject because I got on a rant. it was a point I was trying to make about why I like this run so much, and so many other people had a problem with it. You said it earlier when you said that he put a mirror up to a lot of people. Now, when you said that, I felt that because at the time of this run, I had some stuff going on I came out of some stuff, right? And that is why I understood T'Challa's position. I know what it's like to be defeated. I know what it's like to mess up so bad that everywhere you turn, you burn bridges, but it's not because you intended to do it. It was because of you're human. You're a human. You make mistakes. You sometimes you mess up. We all mess up. And the point I was trying to make was a lot of us have been in T'Challa's position, felt worthless, didn't know where to turn to. Everybody turned their back on you, or that's how you feel. You're paranoid. You live several different lives according to different people, and then all that stuff kind of catches up to you. Now you have to pay for what you did, right? So a lot of the people who didn't like the run, they've been in that position before. They've been down before. Maybe you didn't like to see it. And that's totally understandable. Maybe it reminds you of something, or you don't want to see your great king like that. But point is, on his knees in that panel, you think my man can't stand up? He's an emperor. He's been a king since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
And he told him to stay down, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't stay down.
He wouldn't stay down. And that's the point he was trying to make. Like, and we all know straight up, two of them, Panther got it. We all know that. Prep time, whatever. We all know that. That right there, to me, like, it triggers you. But at the same time, you look at that, you look at him defeated, you know he's letting him hit him. You know he is just like, do what you got to do. You know what? Maybe I deserve these punches in the face. And a lot of you don't like that because it's a white man doing it. Totally understandable. Nobody's defending that part. Nobody's defending that part. But how about this? Were you triggered when his man was kicking his tail all throughout that one issue? When my man was talking to him, he had that dope black fur joint on, and he was talking to him while he was serving him up. Nobody had a problem with that. Why?
Nobody had a problem.
Why did nobody have a problem with that? Nobody said nothing about that. So that's what I'm saying. He was defeated. And we've all been defeated. You know what I'm saying? We've all been defeated. Sure. So again, he's gonna rise again. He's gonna do his thing. Go ahead, Richard. I talked to him.
Yeah, I just want to go back to Bo Biggs' point. Bo Biggs said that he felt like all the stuff. Bring back, he said T'Challa was treated like a sucker the whole run, getting spoken to like a peasant, getting hand slapped by 3 different people, face looking like ground meat, 1/4 the run, disgusting. It was, but again, I go back. I don't know if you were here, Bo Big, at the very beginning, but Bast told him it was going to be like this. She said, curse your kings, curse your God, because that's what you're going to do, T'Challa. You're going to curse me. That's what you're trying to do in my face right now. But no. But first, curse your kings. See, she set it up and said, "This is the world that you created. This is the world you created, T'Challa. You got to live in it. Now you built this world. Now you got to live in it. Yeah. All of this stuff is because of what happened. It wouldn't have happened if he had not been doing what he was doing. And here's the other part people don't like. There's a part in the Coast Run where Bast is trapped in this body of this child, right? Remember that? And they literally this is a god. Okay, and they were talking to her like she had no power, that she had no authority. That's how they were speaking to her. All this happened before this happened to T'Challa. Now he's supposed to T'Challa. Let's if we're gonna go by the history, Bast is the god of the Black Panther clan, correct?
Yep.
So how is it that the Avatar can just talk crazy to, and she turns around, she tells, I ain't tell you to go send them astronauts out, the Wakandas out in space. I ain't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to go out there and mine 5 galaxies for your precious vibranium. I ain't tell you to do that. You created this T'Challa. So again, I know how bad it is. I'm just giving you the reason why this is. Because I think y'all got selective hearing or selective thinking. Paul said a while ago that I was reaching. I'm like, okay, then that's the case. Then there's no call for no deities in any Black Panther lore whatsoever. They have no power. Now, the Black Panther, the Bass gives the Black Panther authority and power to act on her behalf. But she's treated like, okay, you just kind of a figurehead. Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you some stuff. And she did in this particular run. Y'all, I mean, y'all just gotta see it for what it is. Y'all don't like the mirror to y'all face. I'm just saying, because it speaks to, and I'm gonna tell you, Otis, one of the reasons why I thought about this was because T'Challa is supposed to be a man of faith. And when a man of faith is not walking in his faith, he's walking in fear. And what has T'Challa done this whole time? Lied, can't be trusted, doing some stuff on his own. That's what happens when we don't consult our creator about certain things and we just want to handle certain things. We get the recompense of that too. You know, how do young people say, F around and find out? Well, that's what happened to T'Challa. He found out.
Yeah, keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Us Black Panther fans. Paul, my man 50 Grand. I know how big of a fan you are. Let's be perfectly honest here. You know T'Challa lies. You know T'Challa has plans upon plans upon plans. You know T'Challa has people followed, watched. He put General right next to his woman. Okay, right? Yeah, and I'm gonna put a pin in that one because now I want to hear that big talk about Marauders 13 and how wrong she was for doing what she was doing. But don't nobody want to talk about that either. All right, he put an agent right next to her, and that was way before Marauders 13. All right, well let's get back on. Let's get back on.
Yeah. So that's your man. Let me shout out L-Dog for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I know we're not going to get too many super chats tonight, but thank you, L-Dog.
But we appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate that. We know I was thinking it was going to try to take them super chats from the past away. You know what I'm saying? Hit them before them deposits hit the bank. But yeah, but what I'm saying, all right, but Paul, but yeah, thank you, L-Dog. But Paul, let's be real. If you had a friend like T'Challa, like, wouldn't you watch him with a side eye? I would. I know he'll probably get down and get busy for me when the time comes, but at the same time, he probably got microphones in my house. Let's just keep it. Let's just, you know what I'm saying? All right. So if we're gonna put it on that type of level, right? No one should trust T'Challa. They shouldn't, because he's doing what he doesn't care about that. He's doing what's best for Wakanda, and that's what he's always done. Good, bad, or ugly, made mistakes, took the devalued the vibranium because Doom, all that, all these little things that he's done over the years. This ain't the first time that the people didn't like him. I sent Rich a panel of the last couple of pages, I think is issue 25, when they were doing a celebration, and they made sure that they had panels, and there were certain panels where nobody sharing. They made sure that it was a whole panel of, you see a couple of people with their hands up, but there's a whole section of people just standing there staring. Those are the people that were in Ridley's run. So that's what I'm saying. If you want, like, these are all comic books, they're supposed to be fun and all that stuff, but I love doing the breakdowns and stuff. If you want to do it, it's a breakdown, but it's a comic book. It's a story at the end of the day. And like I said, don't act like none of you have been disrespected like this king. We've been disrespected. You've been disrespected worse than T'Challa. You kept it moving. You kept it going. And those people either started respecting you or you walked the other way. Or this is a good one. They disrespect you and then they find out who you really were all along. And then that's when they try to come back.
Yes, sir.
Because they miss who you were. And these people These people, T'Challa's people, they're gonna miss who he was, and I think they miss who he was now because of he's not who he's normally been. And that's why I feel like they're doing this because they're gonna build him up. And when he comes back, he's gonna be stronger. He's gonna be. I got my own thoughts of when he comes back and who's gonna be the new Black Panther, and if he's gonna be like the old. I personally think it's almost time for a kind of like an old man Bruce Wayne, Batman Beyond type of situation. Even if it's a future story, you know, and we talked about that one too. We talked about that one too. Yeah, we talked about that one too. But just bottom line. But so go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
Yeah. So let me give Fan for Collective. Thank you for the super chat, sir. T'Challa plans and Bass laughs, no doubt. So let's wrap this conversation about Black Panther up, and we're gonna get to chat time. We're gonna talk to you guys in a minute. Robert Peterson's guys, it's not the writer personally. The plot execution was horrible. Most of us can read and know they really want to say certain things. We just don't care. T'Challa get beat like Toby. I mean, look, you can say that, but okay, we'll deal with that later. This last part, though, I want to get to is, of course, the coup de grace. When Wakanda feels like they're not defended, they got issues. The Hutu Zarazi has been disbanded. So desperate times call for desperate situations. Desperate answers, I should say. So they go and get T'Challa's greatest enemy, Namor. And that is probably the most disrespectful comic book cover in the history of comic book covers. Yeah. I mean, that is pretty wild.
Yeah.
And you know, but they're there he's there with Atlantis to assist in this situation. And T'Challa's not having none of it. Right. He's not having none of it. He's like, no, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Like, Namor's like, yeah, I know. And he walks away from T'Challa and says to him, he says, you know what? I got the best of both worlds. We got peace, and you'll never sit on the throne again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man. Because again, this is about trust. You can't be trusted, T'Challa. So because you can't be trusted, I'm going to go get the person you can't trust. We're going to put our trust. This is what Wakanda did. They went and got your enemy. Yep. Your mortal enemy. Yep. So, yeah, just when you think he ain't broke for real, I mean, he was incensed.
Yeah. That was the first time. That was the first time that he snapped out of it because he punched him in his face. That was the first time that he poked his chest out in like several issues. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that right there to me shows me that it's still in there. You know what I'm saying? It's still in there. And first of all, I would like to say, as a Black Panther fan, okay, as a Black Panther fan, I have a love-hate relationship with this cover because it is, like you said, is the most disrespectful cover, in my opinion, comic book history. That's my opinion. I mean, for Black Panther. I don't want people coming at me about the old school covers. What I'm trying to say.
I'm just trying to figure out what's worse. What's worse than this? I'm trying to keep it on like comic book where our depictions of us when we were, what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. But this right here is the most disrespectful cover. But I have to tell you, I got to be perfectly honest with you. I would love to own this. Yeah. I would love to own this because when you talk about villains, me and you talk, I love villains. Villains are great. Villains are the best. This is a villain cover. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You look at the smile on his face. He got the flag drying his undercarriage. Under his undercarriage. He got it tucked. Okay, he got it tucked.
You know what I'm saying? And the smile on his face, and that is a villain. That is a villain. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm telling you, man, that's the most disrespectful cover. But I want it. I gotta be honest with you. I want it. I want that cover because and that right there is the tipping point. That right there is a moment that I feel 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, T'Challa's gonna make a decision and he's gonna do something. And the Wakanda people are gonna be like, whoa. No, you can't do that. He's gonna be like, are you crazy? You chose Namor, and he gonna bring this back up. He gonna be like, you chose this dude. I didn't forget about that. Just like he's not gonna forget about any of this stuff. Everybody who's had their foot on his neck and have given him cheap shots, he's going to get his receipt for each and every one of them. I guarantee this. He's going to. It might take him some time, but when he comes back, and then when he does it, I don't want to hear anybody's mouth about why is he being so mean? Why is he treating these people like he's a dictator and he's not the king? Because they took over, and now he wants his thing back. But that's a future discussion. But anyway, like I said, this cover right here, man. And also, I also feel like they tried to tie it into like Wakanda Forever, the movie. How they chose, you know what I'm saying? How and Namor said it in the movie. He was like, his people was like, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" He's like, "No, I got them exactly where I want them. They will lean for us, and then when we go cause havoc, the world's gonna blame them because they still don't know about us." Yes, so it's playing into the movie. All of this stuff, all of these stories, there's layers to them. There's layers to them. Sometimes you get it. Sometimes it takes you a minute to get it. But I think that's the best part of this because there's going to be people that are going to go back and reread this after this live. And they're going to see what we're talking about. And they might not change their mind totally, but it's going to spark something. And then maybe you'll get to where we are. And then you'll be like, wow. So then you get to hate the story, understand the story, and then read it and enjoy the story. So that's what I feel. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's just like I would tell people about the Wakanda Forever movie. It was a good movie, but I just didn't like it. I think that's still art. That's still good art. You know what I'm saying? When something like this can bother you, so it's almost like a train wreck. You can't look away. Styles of seriously, T'Challa's known as the master strategist. Ridley does him a disservice writing him as a king who has never contemplated the outcomes of his decisions.
Are you more on point? Like if you got some stuff going on in your life, you got some problems going on in your life. You got problems at work. You and your woman is beefing. Your baby mama won't let you see your kids. Your paycheck is X amount of dollars because the government takes half for child support and all that. Like, and you are down and out, but you're still moving. Are you as sharp? Are you as sharp as you would be if all that stuff wasn't happening to you? No, you're not. No. So that's what's going on here. That's what's going on, in my opinion. That's what's going on with T'Challa. That's why he can't see 3 or 4 steps ahead. Or maybe he can see 3 or 4 steps ahead, but he can't see 10. Yeah. That's the point I'm trying to make about this. They're humanizing him.
Yeah, one of the things I had said earlier when the run was going on, I said that T'Challa was doing a lot of grieving.
Yeah.
I mean, if this person was quote unquote his best friend, somebody he grew up with, someone that he was real close to, and he dies violently because of him, because of an assignment that he gave him, that's gonna bother you. That's gonna mess with your head for a while. And again, it's a story. It's not. Is it the best story? No, but I think it's a story that of a man who found himself in a situation where the things around him crumbled, and he crumbled under the pressure. It is what it is. Now, Amani says, I don't think Ridley is referencing Culture Run at all. I'm riding with y'all, but I think Ridley goes out of his way to dismantle everything sacred. That's why Bass doesn't make an appearance, maybe. Well, I know she hadn't been in Hugh Ewan's run either. She ain't Dr. Ewan ain't been no Bass appearances in Eve Ewan's run either. But let's close this out with the last issue, of course, and that we know that T'Challa gets exiled, and for the most part he's still the Black Panther or whatever, right? And he's decided that he's going to stay in Wakanda, but he's going to, defend the people. And that's where we get to Dr. Eve Ewing's run, which is what he's done so far. I think everybody's enjoyed that run. And it's weird too because, I brought this question to Paul and the guys and said, like, okay, you guys are you guys really enjoying Eve Ewing's run? Or are you enjoying it because it's good, or are you enjoying it because the last run was so bad? And the truth be told, no one in the Eve Ewing run has disrespected John, because John's not even supposed to be in Wakanda. He's literally undercover, doing what he does, and the stories have been solid and whatnot. But it's one of those things where I just feel like everybody wants Black Panther to be the king again. And I get it. I want him to see him with the throne too, but at the same time, if he's going to, like you say, make that ascension, we got to get we got to get more story. You know what I'm saying? To get him there, because it's all canon. It's all what's been written. Y'all can hate Ridley's run for all it is. Tosin ain't going nowhere. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. And again, I don't know what they plan to do with him, but I think that the overall the Ridley run, as quote unquote terrible as people make it out to be, I think that it was a solid run in regards to the story he was trying to tell. Now, the execution part and some of the things that how he wrote it or whatever, I got issues like everybody else. However, I do think that looking at it a second time, I was able to pull out some things or whatever that I hadn't saw before. I was able to really, because that's the thing. I think that, like I said, some people, sometimes you miss the forest from all the trees. You don't like the way T'Challa's being talked to. So, but you just forgot that he kind of created this environment where it's like that. He was out in space trying to solidify his reign as emperor. Y'all think that T'Challa showed up and was in space for a little while, they had the ceremony, and then he just dropped and went back to Earth? No, it was years. You know where he was. So yeah, I'm a little hostile. I ain't seen you. I got an uncle right now, and I ain't laid my eyes on 20 years. I love him. Yeah. But can I say, do I have some strong heavy fellowship for him? Absolutely. So until then, it is what it is. But look, guys, he says, is the intergalactic empire canon? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep it on low. Keep it on low. He's still emperor. He's not king anymore. Yeah. He's still emperor, and he made M'Baku, the new M'Baku, the regent emperor. So don't get it twisted. He still got a house to go to if he wants to. He just go up in space, bounce. He can bounce if he wants to. So my man got options. But continue. I'm sorry.
No problem. Robert Peterson says, not hypocrites. Fans appreciate well-written character. Really could never write the character consistently, even with him going through it. Al Ewing gives clinics on keeping the character. Yeah, well, Robert Patterson, I agree to a certain degree. But here's the thing. When John Ridley was writing this character or this particular story, he was also writing I Am Batman. And nobody had a bad thing to say about that book because it was good. He also wrote GCPD, Through the Blue Wall. No one said anything negative about that book. He wrote The Other History of the DC Universe. No one said nothing bad about that book. Herschel didn't like how he framed Mal Duncan, but for the most part, nobody had a problem with that book. He's got a book out right now called The Ministry of Compliance. No one has said anything bad about that book. That dude can write. Now, we can agree to disagree, whatever, but we can't act like this guy cannot write a story. He can write a story. Did he screw up with Black Panther? That's for everybody to kind of decide, and it's their perspective. But all I know is all this other stuff that he wrote is pretty good. The Soul Hammer says Black Panther comics should be fun in the sense that it's wishful fulfillment comic book starring a black guy. We should be able to experience escapism just like we would with Cap or Superman. I agree 100%. Yeah. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and transition from this talk. We're going to go on and talk about chat talk for the last few minutes. Can you hang out with me a little bit longer, Otis?
Oh, yeah. I'm
okay,
I'm
so
here.
guys, we gonna talk about what y'all want to talk about. Now, if y'all want to keep talking Ridley, we gonna talk. But if y'all want to talk about something else,
I'm here. And you know it's always entertaining when I'm here. So come on with it.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me throw this on before we talk.
Yeah. Put the Black Panther comment on.
Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on, Cletus. Come on.
Batman fans aren't sensitive though. Well, you know what? If Otis leaves, I leave. That's funny. No, but you know, again, I think that a lot of people have problems with the fandom. You know, with their characters going through certain things, and everybody gets a turn. I think that's the thing that people need to understand is that everybody's character does not get the same. You know, I don't, especially a character like Batman or whatever. I mean, people love Batman, but nobody cares. Nobody talks about Tom King's Batman. No one's going to run and say, oh, that's the greatest run ever. No, it's not. It was pretty terrible, and he did like 70 issues on it. But you know,
we're gonna need some vibranium
pacifiers by
the end of the Okay, all right. I don't know if you've ever seen a live with me on it, but come on. I live for this type of stuff.
You know,
that was a good one though.
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. I mean, you know, again, you know, guys, comic books are comic books, and the whole idea is to have fun with them and have a good time with them. So let me just say, are you reading anything else, Otis, besides Black Panther?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I've never read an issue of Dr. Ewing's run. I have all of them. I'm waiting for the 10th one to come out so I can read it all in one.
Okay.
Right? So I hear spoilers. I'm not I don't care about spoilers. I'm gonna read it anyway and get my own, but I've been reading, just doing research on other stuff. This year I'm devoting my time to Black Manta. I'm not a big DC guy at all. But Black Man has always, since the cartoon, has always been my guy. So I'm going in a deep dive, and one of my goals this year is to get first appearance of him. So like, I'm not buying nothing else. I'm concentrating on one person. And so what I'm doing now is going to reread older Black Panther, Black Manta stuff, like from the series he had, and then the Aquaman, and most of his appearances, because I just reread not Justice. There was another one, Forever Evil. Forever Evil was one of my. I love that run, and Black Manta in that run was a beast. I saw my man cut somebody's throat with a coin. Okay, cut somebody's throat with a coin, with a quarter. Okay, so that's my guy. So that's my future projects. But as of right now, I'm not really. I'm just keeping up with like older Black Panther stuff, and like I said, I've been making the gorillas from Jungle Action number 13, and so I've been like reading a lot, like just doing research on Jabari, and like I got a awesome way to make the crystallized forest, and when you see it, y'all it's gonna blow your mind. So yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing research. What about you? What are you reading?
Let me get the super chat. Thank you, Robert Pearson, to the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm reading a little bit of everything, man. I'm reading John Stewart, World Journal. I'm enjoying that. Man, let's see what else. I grabbed a stack of books earlier. I'm reading Thrawn with Darth Vader and Admiral Thrawn. That's a pretty good book. I'm reading also Cobra Commander. I'm enjoying this.
Oh, yeah.
Cobra Commander is pretty dope. That's a pretty dope book. I just finished reading this Green Arrow book too, matter of fact. This is with Amanda Waller. They're getting ready to do a story arc with Amanda Waller where she's going to be kind of trying to kill off all the superheroes in the DC universe. And and of course I'm reading Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. That's one of my favorite books too. So I'm reading a little bit of everything, man. I was curious. Have you seen the Aquaman, Lost Kingdom? That's that movie.
The movie? No. Actually, me and my grandson were supposed to watch it last night, but he wanted to play Little Big Planet, so that's what we did. No,
Okay.
but I'm definitely gonna watch it. Definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah, because that the Black Manta in that I love Mateen's Black Manta. He
Me
does
too.
that character justice. So, man,
Me
says I'm
too.
getting to a deep dive with y'all another time, but I do feel like we deserve a better Black Panther. Listen, Soul Hammer, you get no argument out of us.
No, man. No.
Listen. Ultimate Black Panther #1. That was an amazing book.
Yes, it was.
That was an amazing book. Brian Hill threw down the gauntlet. I don't know who they're gonna get to write the new Black Panther book when they do, but I do know that that's gonna be nice. Now, some people think that book is only gonna be like 4 or 5 issues, which would be unfortunate if that's what they do. But I'm like, why don't y'all bring the Ultimate Universe back just to do that, just to give everybody 4 or 5 issues, tease everybody with that? I'm like, come on. And the Killmonger and Storm characters in this book, we haven't even seen them yet, really. I'm looking forward to issue #2 when it comes out. That's gonna be amazing, bro. So we really do believe. I mean, we want Black Panther to be a dope book. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I went through. Funny thing is, going through this deep dive with the Ridley run, I went back and I read some of the Intergalactic Empire Wakanda. I read some of those issues, and I gotta say that, given the perspective that I have about it now, I did enjoy it. It's like, okay, I see you guys, what you guys trying to do. I see these different characters in terms of their place. And to me, T'Challa is this figure in the story where, let's say if we have gotten this story, Otis, and it was somebody else's name attached to it, like his name was, I don't know, just a different name. If it was just a totally different character, somebody gave us that story like that, I would probably rant and rave about that character. Because again, the way I looked at T'Challa, I think, is when we saw the Christopher Priest run, and then we go into the theaters and we see Chadwick Boseman do his thing. And then we all of a sudden, we got T'Challa in space and he's the nameless one. I'm like, what? I'm trying to figure it out. And like, now here's the thing. I bought every issue. That's the thing that I need. And I don't want nobody to think that, I had issues with, because I know people that said, I ain't buying the Ridley run. I stop at issue 5, whatever. No, I bought every issue. And I think that if you are willing to buy every issue, you are a fan of that character.
Right.
Even if your character is looking crazy, even if the writing is ridiculous. Listen, I bought the last Storm run. That was one of the worst stories about Storm ever. But I bought every issue. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes as a fan, you take some on the L, you take some on the chin. You know what I'm saying? But I think we're gonna get another dope run, y'all. Y'all just hold on. Bo Big, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
And again, Black Panther is such a. And listen, this is coming from a guy who is a Black Lightning fan. Okay, now if we would have a discussion about Black Light, that conversation is like 2-3 minutes. There ain't no books to talk about. There's no books to talk about. My guy is not in a comic book right now. It's bothersome to me. Okay, he was literally in the DC Power book. Let me show you the disrespect. I'm sorry, DC. Y'all finna catch him. Y'all finna catch a stray. Otis, he's in the DC Power book, Black Lightning. Okay, now they made it. Janice Cowan made a cover, and Black Lightning, of course, the 1968 Olympics in Mexico, where he's giving up the power fist.
Yes.
Okay, dope cover. But he's not in the book. Now his daughters are in the book in the story. But he does make a cameo in the book. You see half of his face in a cell phone. DC's original first black superhero have to have his own title. Makes a cameo appearance in an anthology book talking about black superheroes. But the number one guy from 1977 can only get an image in a cell phone. But that's DC though. That's DC. That's why DC books stay on the shelf. That's why DC gets the love that it don't get, because they don't know how to treat their characters. It took listen, John Stewart, I'm like, man, this is a character that should have been blown up. But they don't know how to handle their characters. They gave Jeffrey Thorne a run. It was good. They gave Philip Kennedy Johnson, the guy that's doing it now. I'm hoping they keep him on the book. I heard stories that he might not be on the book any longer. I'm like, what are y'all doing? They don't know how to handle their black characters. And so they finna give Amanda Waller a lot of face time. I hope y'all do right by the character.
Yeah.
Because right now, it look bad for black characters over at DC. Makes no sense, but it is what it is. Appreciate you, Night Watch. Says preach rich, Lightning gets zero love from DC. It makes no sense. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It is what it is. This parallel to T'Challa has not been the things the 616 T'Challa has been through, basically a rookie. Brooklyn in the building. Brooklyn. Listen, shout out to Brooklyn, man. I ain't mad at you for saying that, And listen, I think that, people, because here's the thing, Otis. No one's really talking about the Eve Ewing run like that. Now, everybody has discussed the Eve Ewing run kind of here and there, but no one's like really diving, having these deep discussions about the book. They just not. There's a few people that are doing it. I don't want to say that no one's doing it. There are a few people that are doing it, but for the most part, the Black Panther fandom have been kind of silent. Not all of y'all. I know the hardcore out there that's doing it, but for the most part, the casual fans are just like, And I heard some of y'all dissing it. Can't please everybody though.
No,
now,
you can't.
Louisiana Kid says, Brother Otis, that Black Panther run by Dr. Ewing is not good. It's a really slow burn. It is as bad as the Black Adam Christopher Priest run. Now, I will say that about the Black Adam run. The Black Adam run by Christopher Priest was a snooze fest. And here's the thing about Priest. Priest is hit or miss on certain things, but the Black Panther Christopher Priest run is legendary. Mm-hmm. Very, very funny to me, especially story arc The Client. Man, I love that story. Told from Edward Ross's point of view.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's an amazing run. And if everybody had their way, Christopher Priest would come back to it. But I don't even think that he would want to, because it's kind of like what would be to prove, what point would he have to prove? I think that artists like yourself, you always need to be challenged, or you always have to feel like you're doing something different. You don't want to be just it's like, I don't want to be on number 35 on the widget line or whatever. I'm just making the same thing over and over and over. I think that's the one thing that he has a legendary run. His run is historic. Let that man be. You know what I'm saying? He don't. I would like him to go back to it, but if I was in his shoes, the question I would ask myself: why go back? I mean, what for? What point do I have to prove? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I already did it.
Yeah. So Mosey Shabazz says, just tuning in, so I'm gonna catch up. But the Eve Ewing run is good to me. I'm disappointed in the fans who have no patience.
Yeah, see now right before you, there was
Yep.
a comment that said that they hated the run joint the run. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to each his own. Everybody's gonna like
Yeah.
something or not like something or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, there's gonna be people that's gonna go back and read the Ridley run, and they're gonna
Yeah.
see things that we talked about tonight. And that's the magic and the beauty of Black Panther. That
Absolutely.
because you can look at something and not like it, then reread it and go, oh, okay, I never looked at it from this point of view. Then you can, like I said, you can hate it, then you can understand it, then you can learn to like it. Like these are the stories. That's how complex this character is. So, I mean, you're not gonna like everything. I mean, you're not gonna like everything. This is how it goes. You're not gonna like everything.
Moses says, and the clown writer who trashed the franchise 15 issues is awful. Yeah, like I said, can't please everybody, man. I mean, again, I don't know. Again, it is what it is. Soul Hammer says DC has never loved Black Lightning. Go indie. I mean, look, the indie stories that we're going to be getting, or are we getting, are pretty legendary. We love indie stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to some of the stuff that Rodney Barnes is doing. I'm looking forward to some of the stuff that the guys got cooked up, man. Y'all stay tuned. There's some heat coming down the pike later on. On the indie side, you know what I'm saying? But the situation with Black Panther, I think that character is so legendary. And you go back and there's hundreds of stories. That's what I need to let me put my face in it. There are hundreds of Black Panther stories. Hundreds. Not dozens. Not 15 issues. There are hundreds of Black Panther stories. You don't like the current run? Go back and read the old stuff. Jungle Action. Go back and read the 4-issue. Dennis Cowan drew. Jonathan Mayberry.
Yep.
Rise of the Black Panther. Evan Narcisse. It's stuff out there for y'all to entertain. You don't have to be trapped by John Ridley.
Right.
We just happen to talk about. We just happen to be talking about that run tonight. You know what I'm saying? So
it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder, real quick. I'm sorry. I mean, it makes me wonder. Like, I'm not gonna go all the way over here, but I'm gonna go a little bit over here. Like
right.
You think about how bad everybody talked about the Ridley run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a constant discussion.
Yes, sir.
As negative, as bad as it was a constant discussion. And like you said, there's hundreds of other Black Panther stories that are awesome. Nobody's talking about those because they're talking about this one. Why is it that the one negative one is the one that everybody talks about and continues to talk about? Is it because you want to have something to complain about? Because there are other stories out there that are dope, but you're not going there. You're just saying forget Black Panther altogether because of this run. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So what I'm saying is like the negative always it's weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody can make a post about something positive and it'll get like 4 likes. But then somebody can say something controversial and there will be a whole thread. There'll be side discussions. There will be a whole bunch of finger snapping. There'll be a whole, you know what I'm saying? And it's on fire because of the controversy. But that's not a good look. Just because of the engagement, just because there's engagement doesn't mean it's good engagement. And that right there that's always been a problem of mine when it comes to stuff like this. Like why can't we celebrate? It's like we can't celebrate. But the bad stuff, we're gonna talk about that forever. So that's just my 2 cents. That's just my 2 cents. There's too much good out there. There's too much good out there.
Yeah. The thing is that if you ask people about particular runs on Black Panther, I think too the issue becomes: are you reading the books? Because to your point, if something is good, you're going to tell somebody. But what people tend to do is if something is bad, they tend to tell more people about the bad experience or the bad book versus the good book. I think that, I'll be honest, that's kind of human nature, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because that's something that happens in business. If you go to a restaurant and have a good experience at a restaurant, right? You may tell one or two people that, man, that was some pretty good food or whatever. But if you have a terrible experience and terrible service, like you tell everybody in their mouth, man, I went over here and I just had this worst experience at this restaurant. And I just think that, again, that's human nature. And it's unfortunate that we find ourselves there. It's Jared says Coates has the greatest Black Panther run. He brought all the Black Marvel Black heroes to Wakanda. He did. Coates gets a lot of credit for that. And again, I would tell each and every one of you guys that enjoy that run to go back and read that last issue and read what Bass said to T'Challa at the end of that story, because that was the basis of what we talked about tonight in terms of the Ridley run. I think that the Ridley run was written, and here's the thing: I'm not of the opinion that Ridley is a terrible writer. I'm actually of the opinion that Marvel told him to write that story.
I agree. 100%. I agree.
Marvel
100%.
told him to tell that story.
I agree.
And we can blame y'all can blame the editors, y'all can blame Ridley for being, a Oreo, whatever y'all go, do what you got to do to make yourself live with the fact that book, he wrote that book or whatever. But I believe that he was instructed by Marvel Comics to write that book. Jay has a question. He says, Otis, thoughts on the started Ultimate Black Panther, and would you team up T'Challa and Blade for a series?
Well, T'Challa and Blade, they were in New Orleans. That was during was it Hudlin? The Hudlin run, right? Right. I would love to see them together. Well, first, Ultimate Black Panther was an incredible start. It was an incredible start to it. Like when my man fell off of that floating thing and as he was falling, you just saw the little nanobites or whatever, and he landed and he was ready to get busy. Like that gave me chills. That reminded me of my man. Them introducing the witchcraft into it as well. Like I loved everything about the beginning of this book. All the covers were fire. And even the controversy around those missing books. I don't know what happened. But what I do know is because of whatever happened, that book's going to be talked about anyway. And also, my opinion, with them doing that, so many people pre-ordered number 2 and on because they didn't want the same thing to happen. So that could have been a marketing strategy. It could have been something that happened and then somebody took advantage of the situation, whatever. But regardless, I'm a big what if guy. And if you go like look in Black Comic Lords and on my pictures and stuff, I love like whatever versions of T'Challa or whatever versions of M'Baku or especially whatever versions of Killmonger. So I'm a big what if guy, and I love the way other people interpret them. So even people talking garbage about the costume and they say, well, the mouth is off, so you can see his face, and I don't like that. That's an OG. To me, that's a throwback to the OG Black Panther, that cover, and when he was in the Avengers and he had the half mask. I love that. I love that. It's like a combination of the new and the old. But again, everybody's not gonna like everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not gonna like everything. Somebody made a comment a little while ago about Don McGregor and Billy Graham not disrespecting T'Challa the way he's been recently. And that was a while ago. But I saw it and I put it there and I'm like, I got to address that. I have to address that. You are wrong. And the reason why I say you're wrong is because, again, type in Otis Arterberry, Black Panther, and you probably gonna get a lot of posts. But there's one in particular where there was a panel from Don McGregor's run, and I was talking about the Ridley run. Don McGregor's run, where T'Challa was sitting in the grass with both knees to his chest, head down like this, crying. And Wakabi was having issues at home, and he was questioning the king. And somebody came to him and was talking to him, and he was like, I don't know what to do. I did this and it went this way. Did this and it went this way. This person doesn't trust me. This person. What is a king to do? And I remember taking that picture, posting it, and I said, y'all talking about T'Challa's never been emo T'Challa. T'Challa's never been unsure of himself. T'Challa and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That was written back then. Do your homework and your research, and you'll see that this is not new. And that's the reason why I'm so cocky with the way I'm saying it, because there's so many people coming at people who not necessarily defending what happened, but telling you that this is not the first time. And every man gets beat down and they get up.
Yeah.
Get knocked down 7 times, they get up 8. You know what I'm saying? So when he's going to get up, you have to believe in him, though.
Yeah.
If you don't buy the books, because you don't like the way it's written, then they say Black Panther's not selling. So why do something with it? So you have to support the good, the bad, and the ugly. But to answer your question, love the Ultimate Black Panther. Can't wait to see Killmonger in his costume, the way he looks now. It looks a lot like one of the concept photos from, if you get the art of the movie, there's a bunch of concept photos that they did, and they're absolutely amazing. And I see shades of that in this one. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be dope. But Black Panther and Blade all day. And I think there's a blood hunt situation coming up. And I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen the cover for the Black Panther one. Woo! It's beautiful. And to flex a little bit. There's a little bit. I don't have anything, but I have some information to flex a little bit. When I worked MegaCon when it was a few months ago, and we went out to dinner, and I was out to dinner with Adam Kubert and EM Gist and Simone Bianchi. EM Gist, I knew of his name, but I never knew who he was. I know his work. Do you remember? I think it was Wolverine number 38, sorry. And it was a variant cover, and it was a Moon Knight cover. And Bushmaster was coming out of the darkness, and Moon Knight is at the bottom. When you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. He's the artist for that. He's the one who did that, right? Awesome painter, oil painter. So we're talking at dinner, and he says, you're a Black Panther fan? And I said, yes, I am. And then my man was like, the biggest Black Panther fan. I'm like, yes, I am. And then he said, okay, well, I got a question for you. And he was telling me, he said, I have a variant cover to do for some Black Panthers going to be fighting vampires. He said, so here's my idea. So he tells me his idea for the cover. And then he says, or I have this one. And he tells me this idea, both of them, fire. So then he says, what do you think I should do? And I said, you asking me for my opinion to do like a variant cover? And he said, yeah, I am. So I said, okay. So then I told him what I thought. He took out his paper, wrote some stuff down, and he said, all right, cool. I said, so you're telling me when this cover comes out, I can look at it and say that I was the one who influenced that? And he was like, all day. And he's like, and let me know, I'll sign one for you. Like, I definitely will. So the cover that he's going to do, if he does it the way I asked him to do it or whatever, it's going to be one of the dopest Black Panther covers ever. Seriously.
Okay.
I'm talking about I'll drop a clue. I love any cover with Black Panther with Black Panthers, actual Black Panthers with him, walking with him. And when he told me what he was gonna do, yeah. So that's it. That's that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Blade and Black Panther, definitely. Beautiful. Look at that cover.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. So look, bro, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down, man. We've been here 2 hours. So before we get out of here, guys, we want to just remind you of the upcoming things we got going on. Epiphany Engine. This is a This is an amazing thing that's getting ready to take place that Advent Comics is spearheading. All of those different companies that you see there, whether it's Concrete, Second Sight, Fourth Wall, Wise Acre, Wingless, I believe that's what that is, and others, are going to be collaborating. All of those different companies there are going to be collaborating and working a Kickstarter for a graphic novel that will be coming out pretty soon. We will be talking about the Kickstarter campaign when it begins. We just want to give you guys a heads up that all of these Black-owned independent companies are coming together to put together an amazing story. And so, guys, we want you guys to support this Kickstarter when it comes out. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So, y'all, please, 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 check this out when it comes out. Stay tuned. Check with Black Comic Lords on YouTube. Check out Black Comic Lords on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X. We'll be giving you guys more information about this when it drops. Also, we want to get you guys to know that Atlantic Comic Con in August, in late summer, August the 17th and 18th is coming up. We want to invite you guys to come down to Black Comic Lords. A few of us are going to be down there. Yours truly, Lord willing, will be there. I will be incognito, trying to find some dollar bands to hit, among other things. But yeah, we're going to be down there chopping it up, hanging out with Flood and all the whole squad. Everybody's that's going to be a nice meetup, man. So y'all, if you can, save your pennies, get your stuff, your ducks in a row, because that's going to be an amazing time. So y'all come hang out with us and chop it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. Yeah. So that's what's up. So anyway, with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Please watch our YouTube channel. We want you guys to continue to support the channel. Please like, share, subscribe. Share this content with a friend, with a hater. We don't care. We probably got a few more haters tonight. Gonna be a little chilly. Gonna be a little chilly on the Black Comic Lords Facebook group after this one.
I got the same coat. I got the same coat Ja had on. I'm in the Ridley run with the black fur. Okay, I'm cool. I'm gold. I'm all right.
We good. That's what's up, man. So let me give the benediction so I can get out of here. So benediction comes from John 3:16. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him would not perish but have everlasting life. Thank him with my man Otis. I want to give him a shout out. Also, just before I get out of here, man, y'all had a great dynamic show on Free Game with Mike Carson. I enjoyed that, bro.
I want to give him a shout out. I didn't want to interrupt your, what you're saying.
No, you good.
Okay, yeah. I want to give thank you, Mike Carson, for having me on. That was awesome and helping me figure out, my camera and all that. That was a great show. I appreciate you reaching out to me. And shout out to J. Napoleon Winston. He made this. We made this. We made this. All right. Winston's wham. Gotta say it.
Yeah. So again, guys, thank you for joining us on tonight. We will see you guys later. We'll see you Wednesday night with the wrap up with the BCL crew. Until next time, we say peace. Take care of yourselves. Love you. See you later. We out.